There are some videos that exist on the internet to help people out with sticky situations, and other videos that exist basically to gripe about petty stuff. And I'm not entirely sure which one this is. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and I'm going to talk about a little situation on Mercari. Now, I have been doing more and more selling on Mercari, and even though I like Mercari and I like the extra income that Mercari comes in, Mercari has some quirky things about it that are not on sites like eBay and Facebook Marketplace and Amazon. Mercari is definitely its own little culture, and so this video series is going to be me highlighting some odd interactions I've had with whether they be sellers or buyers, and we're going to kind of discuss, these situations and whether or not they should have happened the way they happened and how you can hopefully learn from them, as well as me just getting certain things off my chest. Before we do, though, if you want to start selling on Mercari, use my sign-up link and code, and you can get $20 coupon to start with buying on Mercari. Just don't be like sellers like the one we're about to talk about. So about a week and a half ago, I'm on Mercari and I see something that I want to buy. In this case, it is a Samurai X complete movie collection from ADV, out of print. Not the rarest or most expensive anime DVD out there, but it's rare enough and it's expensive enough to be worth noticing when you see it on a website for a pretty big bargain. The DVD cost me roughly $47, somewhere around there, and if I wanted to say something about the service, it came quickly, it was packaged well, and I'm especially happy because a few days later I turned around and sold it for $150. So to the person who I'm about to be grilling in a second, thank you so much for that. However, this particular DVD came at I would say a little bit of a bad time. While I did buy it, during the process of the guy packaging the item, shipping it out, and having it delivered, there were a couple things in my life that happened that basically required immediate attention, and certainly people on the channel probably felt my absence because these things made uploading videos pretty much impossible. The first is that my pet chinchilla Perry died. He is no longer with us. He is in chinchilla heaven, or wherever that is. Maybe the spinning wheels are made of gold. I don't know. But it was a rough week. I'm still feeling the loss of little old Perry. I mean, it's funny. He's just a critter, and he existed for no other reason than to run around and eat Cheerios. And yet, pets they leave footprints on our hearts. I think that's really true. So, that happened, and that was sad, and I really wasn't feeling like doing much of anything for a few days, except the bare necessity. To add insult to injury, during that week, a root canal that I had years ago got infected, and I basically had to have emergency oral surgery. So not only am I a little bit of an emotional wreck this week, to add insult to injury, I have to go under the knife at a dentist, my least favorite place to be in the world. So, frankly, knowing that, you should be able to understand why maybe once I got this package, rating the buyer was not exactly a huge priority for me at this moment in time. Now, I do understand that there's a little bit of a frustration with Mercari when it comes to seller and buyer ratings. Unlike eBay and Amazon and iOffer, is that still around? I think it's still around. When it comes to Mercari, basically funds are held until a few things happen. First, the tracking number needs to show the package was delivered. Second, once it is delivered, whoever the buyer will be notified to rate the seller. Once the buyer rates the seller, then the seller rates the buyer, and hopefully everything goes smoothly. Now, the buyer is not given an unlimited amount of time to rate the seller. He or she, I should say, are given 3 days to do so. Basically 3 days, and if you don't do anything, Mercari basically assumes that everything was fine and dandy. They give the seller an automatic 5 stars, the funds are released, and everyone moves on with their lives. And while I understand the frustration of someone not rating you right away, thus holding up your funds for a few days more than you would probably ideally like to have them held up, the bottom line is when you get a default 5-star rating, it's closed, you've got your 5 stars, you've got your money, basically everything is good at this point. I mean, there is no reason to give a second thought about it. Who knows why the person didn't leave feedback? Maybe they were going through a bad situation, like me. Maybe they just don't think to leave feedbacks. I mean, that's why I can sell hundreds of items on eBay a month and basically get a couple dozen feedbacks on average. Buyers not leaving feedback happens. There's no reason to stress about it or make a big deal about it. And yet the person that I bought this particular DVD from decided he wanted to go and make it a big deal. Now, before I go any further, I just want to say, do not hunt this guy down on Mercari and do not harass him. That is not the point of this video. The point is to rant about a unpleasant experience that I had that did not need to happen, as well as point out why there was no reason to escalate it to the seller, even though he will probably never see this video. Now, the person that I bought the DVD from is someone named Rain WTX, and as you can see, he must be a fan of Bleach. At least I think that's a character from Bleach. It's honestly been a while since I've read it. And he is verified, so he's been doing this for a while. 191 sales, 202 items listed, 5 stars, 388 reviews. Everything comes from a pet and smoke-free household. And so look, this is actually a good thing. Like, this shows that, you know, he is doing a very good job with his selling. People clearly are unhappy with the service. Heck, I wasn't unhappy with the service. I didn't leave a negative feedback. And he actually is selling a lot of stuff at good prices. Stuff that honestly is worth a heck of a lot more than what he's selling it for. But if he just wants to get rid of it, that's a great way to do it. And so, you know, at this point, we have no issues with the seller. However, an issue does occur after our transaction has come and gone. And again, look, I know I did not leave feedback. I was dealing with the loss of a pet, not to mention oral surgery. Leaving feedback on Mercari was not a high priority. And yes, it did hold up his funds at the end of the day. However, Mercari did give him an automatic 5-star rating. He got his money, and that should have been the end of it. For some reason, maybe he was just in a bad mood himself, he decided that he was going to get personal with me over nothing. So he sends me this email that says, I understand if you're busy and you can't rate, but you literally have been active as I was thinking about buying your Bleach DVD, and it said you kept updating the listing. There was no excuse. You honestly need to be better at rating. No excuse. So let's take this one at a time. I understand if you're busy and can't rate. Really, it doesn't sound like you're being very understanding. But you literally been active as I was thinking about buying your Bleach DVD. Now, here's the thing. It is true that when it comes to my stores, I do leave them open all the time on my Surface, because if ever there is a sale or message, I want to be notified that there is a sale or message, and for the most part, I can reach out right away. It doesn't mean I'm always at the computer. So, you know, that is not anything that means that I was there. Continuing. And it said you kept updating the listing. Now, I am selling a Bleach DVD. Interestingly, the one that he has on his own store. But I only listed it once, and I had no need to update it. So I don't know what he means by need to keep updating the listing. He then continues, there was no excuse. Oh, really? I did have an excuse. You honestly need to be better at rating. No excuse. Now, here's the weird thing about this email. At the beginning, he says, I understand if you're busy and you can't rate, but then he goes on at the end to say, oh, there's no excuse. No excuse. You need to rate. You need to do better. And here's the thing. This is probably a 14-year-old. This is probably a kid, if we're being honest. And kids do irrational things. But here's the thing. There was no reason for this email. Seriously, I did not leave a negative feedback. He got an automatic 5-star. He got his money. There was no reason to get personal with me. Now, here's the thing. This email did piss me off. Now, again, it wasn't the email stuff that was a big deal, but he really sent it at the wrong time. Again, pet died, a lot of pain from the dentist, and I want to say, dude, you got your money, you got automatic 5 stars, stop, don't threaten me with, oh, I was thinking of buying something from you, but because you wouldn't rate me, I'm just gonna send a nasty email. No, dude, I make more than enough money online. I don't need your sale. Be nice to have, but I don't need your sale. And here's the thing. If you wanted it that badly, you would have just bought it, whether I left you a positive feedback or not. In fact, if anything, you could have used that sale as an opportunity to give me a negative feedback just to piss me off. You would have gotten your item, but you still would have left a negative feedback, basically showing that you were unhappy with me not leaving a feedback. However, when I go to respond to this kid, I find out that I can't send an email because he has blocked me. Like, all the things, the cowardice things to do. The dude decides to block me. Like, for what? I can't leave a negative feedback anymore. I could respond to him, but it's not like it's actually going to mean anything. I didn't do anything to piss him off, except I didn't leave a feedback because I was dealing with a dying pet and a infected jawline. Like, I know he says there's no excuse. I had an excuse for not leaving a feedback which he got an automatic 5 stars for, and he got paid for. And then the irony is when he does this, it means that I now just can't buy anything from him because, like, look at this. Like, I probably would have bought this for $19. Had I seen this in time, probably would have bought this for $20. I don't know if I would have bought the Sailor Moon one, but maybe. I would certainly buy this for $40. Now, why would I buy these things from him? Well, because to be blunt, what he is selling them for is far less than what they are worth, and therefore I can take them and I can flip them and I can make more money myself. But this guy, because he got all butthurt over a feedback that he felt he deserved, and he felt that I was online like all the time to just leave, he basically sent me an insulting email and then blocked me, preventing me from giving him more business. If he was a smart seller, he would have basically said, well, okay, it kind of sucks that they didn't leave a personalized feedback, but hey, I got 5 stars, I got my money. He maybe would have seen like a week later that I would have bought something else, and you know what, no harm, no foul. And yet, because of what he did, he's basically blocked someone from buying. Now, I know some of you are going to be like saying, but Kevin, you've admitted you are going to buy things to flip them at a higher price. Heck, the thing you bought from him, which was actually $57 as we saw, not $47, like, you turn around, you flipped it. That's kind of besides the point. The point is, he's obviously listing these items because he wants to sell them. He is listing them at certain prices because that's what he feels they are worth. And if I feel they are worth more, I will give him what he feels they are worth, and I will sell them for what I think they are worth, which is what I did. You've got to go in the mail. It just dawned on me. I actually better finish this video so I can mail that. But instead, all he did was piss me off. He blocked potentially more sales. And by the way, had he not blocked me, obviously I wasn't going to buy anything else from him after that email. Or I probably would have bought something, and then I would have left his feedback, but it would have been not so positive, which I think he realized was what was the outcome going to be. So he wanted to make himself feel better by sending a nasty email and blocking me and basically preventing me from negging him. Which, yeah, he did prevent me from negging him. He certainly did do that. But had he not even sent the email, all that would have happened was I would have bought more of his stuff. And I don't know, like, considering I would have bought, let's see here, 40, let's assume everything's not sold, 40, 60, 80, let's just end there. I would have bought like $80 more worth of merchandise for him. Those are sales that he, at least in terms of two of them, he does not have now. For what? Just so he could feel better? Come on, don't be stupid. And again, I don't want you to go harass this guy. If anything, go to his site, and if you see something that you like, buy the stuff and leave him a positive feedback if the service was good. In all fairness, the guy shipped quickly. It was carefully packaged. Item was in great condition. And, you know, had I not been preoccupied with pet death and searing pain in the jawline, I most likely would have just left him a positive feedback. But instead, I didn't have time to do that, and he decided to get pissy about me, and all resulted was me getting upset and him losing some sales. That is no way to run a business. But anyway, that's where we're going to leave this little rantish thing. I would like to know, what do you think of the situation? What would you have done and how would you have reacted? Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.